Hey, my name is Simranjot and I'm the head of product at Canonic. Today, we're going to build a simple dashboard to see an overview of all the pull requests that your team has made on GitHub. It's a simple project to build the front end. We'll be using React.js and Material UI. For the backend, we'll be using Canonic to connect with GitHub and to get all the data necessary to show on our dashboard. To expand more on what Canonic is a low-code platform that lets you create, manage, and deploy serverless backends within an intuitive low-code interface. So let's see how our output's gonna look like. We have four different types of cards here: merged, in review, assigned, and open, which will have the respective PRs associated with them. When you click on any of the PR, it will show you more details around the PR, like its description, the title, any labels associated with them, and other things. Awesome. Let's jump in and build it. We'll start by creating the front end first. We'll be using Create React app to start building our new React application. What it essentially does is it sets up your development environment and sets up all the boilerplate code so that you can start building on top of it. Um, awesome. So let's use Create React app. I'm naming my application GitHub PR dashboard. Um, it's creating all the boilerplate code right now for us. Once it's done, it's gonna give us a directory with all the folders and necessary files need to run or to set up our development environment. Um, yeah, awesome. Let's cd into it. Let's also open it on our VS Code to see. Awesome. You can see all the files are here that it has created. Let's go to terminal and quickly run this to see if it's working for us. Um, so we'll see on start. Let's head to Chrome and see what if it's building. Let's open localhost. You can see it's working fine. Let's write some code. Let's head back to our terminal first. Um, we'll be adding all the necessary dependencies first. We'll be using Material UI as a UI library. Let's quickly add that. It's done. Let's go back to see what our output's gonna look like once so that we can start building our components required. So back to Chrome. Now at the top we need to make two components. First would be this header that will contain the title of our dashboard. And then there are these cards which are repeating and which will have the pull request according to the filters which are merged, in review, assigned, and open. So let's head to our VS Code and try and create these two components first. Um, let's create a new folder called components that will hold all the components for us. Let's create our first component. Um, let's name it container. Now what this container will have is two components. One's the header that we just talked about, and the other one's the card that's gonna repeat itself. Let's call it container.js. We'll add another file called next.js that will help us export this container of us. Port container from dot slash container. We'll export it. Great. Let's head to our container file. Quickly import React. Then we'll import all the UI components from the Material UI library that we'll be using to build our dashboard. Um, great. Um, let's start by Defining the function. We'll write all the code for this component inside this container function. Let's quickly export it. Great. Um, we'll start by creating the header. Um, let's quickly write an empty div. Inside that, we'll be using some of the components that we just imported, like this. Box is basically Material UI's replacement for div. You can add your custom CSS right here. We just created an app bar which contains the title for our dashboard. Below this, we'll be creating all the cards that we'll need to display, which are merged in review, um, assigned, and open. Let's quickly add the code for that. If you can see, each card basically has two components inside. Then once the header of that card, which says the respective titles. The first one, for example, says merged, and the second would be the card content that will basically display all the PRs in it. Um, let's also add a custom CSS file that will help us structurally arrange our component. For that, style.css, add some code here to beautify it and call it from our container. Let's quickly add this container to our main file to quickly check how it's looking, right? Let's go to index.js, import our container. Let's replace it here. Let's head to Chrome and see how it's looking. Refresh first. Great. So you can see we have the header here, which contains our title, GitHub dashboard, and we also have four columns, respectively, merged and review, assigned, and open. Now the next thing that we need to build is the list that's going to populate in each of these respective columns. As you can see here, we'll go by the same approach. We'll create a new component called list that will have all the details that we're going to present here. Um, let's head to VS Code. Create a new folder called list, new file list.js, the file index.js will import list from dot slash list. We'll export it. We'll go to our list component, import React and all the other UI components that we're going to needing from the Material UI library. Let's create a function called list that will have all the code required. Let's export it. Great. Let's add the code here. We'll be using the paper element from Material UI. It's going to give our cards a bit of elevation, a bit of shadow. Um, then basic components of Material UI, which is going to be used for showing the name of the pull request, the title of it. It'll show all the labels attached to it, and the display picture of the person that was created, the PR, along with his name. All of this data is dummy right now. We'll be getting it from the backend after we build a skeleton. Um, let's also add some custom styling to it. We'll create a new file called style.css with the required code here, and then import it up in our main component. Now to see this list in action, let's uh, use this list function, this list component in our card container. We'll first quickly import the list, yeah, and then we'll be calling this list component, let's say here, just to see how it looks in our project. Let's head to Chrome and see how it looks like. Great, as you can see, you can see a component, the list component here. Awesome. Now what we need to build is a third and final component, which is the model itself. That's going to open up once you click on any of the PR, right? And it'll have the description of that PR and the link to go to that PR. Um, let's head to VS Code and we'll follow the same approach here. We'll create a new folder called model. I'll have the same three files, model.js, index.js, import model from model, export it. We'll quickly add all the imports, the React and all the UI components that we're gonna needing in from Material UI. We'll define the function here, export it. Great. Let's add all the code needed to build this model component for us. Let's quickly go over it. We're using the model component from Material UI. It has a box component in it, which is basically a replacement of div. We have the title here, which is right now a dummy data called pull request one. Typography, which will contain all the description of the PR, and some information about the assignee if it's assigned, and a button to actually open the original PR. Let's go back to our list component. Um, we need to define an on-click handler here so that whenever someone clicks on any of the item on the list, that model should show up. So let's do that. Let's create a state that can help us keep track of that and define an on-click handler. Let's also import our model and then add it to our component. Yep, let's make it fix. Yep, let's go back to our model component and accept all the new props that are coming in. Let's write them down here. We'll need to add a function that will handle the props for us. We need to pass this props to our model component also. Great. Let's also add a style sheet here, add all the required styles. Here we'll need to import the style CSS here. Let's go back to our list container and add this handle click event. Whenever someone clicks on that paper, this should work properly. Let's head back to Chrome and see. Let's refresh first. Great, we can see the modal is opening up. Whenever we click on a list item, it shows the title of a pull request, the description, the button to the PR. It also closes whenever we tap outside. It's working properly. Now, all the components required to build a dashboard are ready. We have created a basic skeleton that we now need to integrate with the backend. The requirement here is that we need an API endpoint that a front end will call to get the data for all the PRs for a particular repository on GitHub. So let's head to Canonic and see how we can do that. Once you sign up, you'll come onto the dashboard. Here you see all your recent projects, what's new, what's upcoming, the roadmap, etc. We already have a template project set up for our GitHub PR dashboard integration. Let's head to Marketplace, then to Sample Projects. You'll see a PR dashboard project here. When you click on it and go inside, you will see four tabs here: Graph, CMS, API, and Docs. The graph basically contains the schema of the database that your project is using. As you can see, you have two tables here: containers and pull requests. Container has two fields inside it. One is title and the another is identifier. These will be basically used to hold the information of all the cards that we're going to display on our dashboard. For example, we have merged, assigned, in review, etc. All the data that you see in our application right now is dummy. We wrote that code just to see how our front end looks. We need to get all of this data from a backend. That's what the containers table will be holding. The second table is pull requests. The pull request table has one field, this integration field. You can see the API that we have selected here is listing all the pull requests. You can click on it and see what all API Canonic supports for GitHub. We have selected the pull requests one. What this integration field means is when you query the data for this table, Canonic will populate the data into this field from the GitHub's API that you have selected. Once you select which API you want to use, you can configure it with all the parameters that you need to send along with it. You can go to the API configuration tab here. Um, if you have a private repository, you'll have to add your credentials here in the authentication option. Uh, in the required field, you need to send all the fields that are required to make this API work from GitHub's end. And for this example, we're using the pull request API, which has two required fields. One's the owner and the other is the repo. Uh, in owner, you have to give the organization's name for which the repository belongs to. And for the repository, you have to write the name of the repository itself for which you need to fetch all the PRs. For this example, we'll be using Facebook's React repository. Um, and in the optional field, you can configure other option field that GitHub lets you configure with it. Great. Let's head to the CMS tab and see what's there. You can see we have added four entries for the four different columns that we're going to show here: merged, in review, assigned, and open. Um, let's head to docs. In the docs section, you can see all the documentation for all the APIs that is generated for your backend, right? Canonic generates both REST and GraphQL APIs for your project. So you can see like in the tab containers, in the table containers, all of your APIs are listed here. The REST APIs documentation is listed in the center. You can see what the request and response would look like in GraphQL. or in REST. Same for the pull request table. You can see when you query your pull request table, you are getting a field called GitHub, which has subfields which are populated from GitHub's API itself. Um, we can quickly check it also. We can open it in the playground for us. Let's try and hit that. Uh, let's see what it fetches it for us. Yep, as you can see, Canonic automatically populated your GitHub field with all the pull request data that we're getting from React's repository. Now we just need to take this URL, hit this API, and get all the data in a front-end dashboard. Also, if you have any questions, do let us know in the comments below. Um, so now we have our APIs ready. Let's use GraphQL to fetch data from our backend and show it in our front end. We'll be installing two GraphQL packages, Apollo client and GraphQL, that will help us make the GraphQL API calls to our backend. So let's head to our terminal and install these packages really quick. Um, we'll be using npm. Let's let them install. Once we are done with installing the packages, let's head to our VS Code to set up the Apollo client. Um, we'll go to index.js, quickly import Apollo client. You can remove this import. Um, let's set the client first. Yep. Remember, this is the URL that we got from our Canonics project's playground. We also have to wrap our container inside the client that we're going to use. Yeah, perfect. Let's set up the query that we're going to make to a GraphQL backend. Let's quickly add new folder in source called GQL. The new file, we can name it query.js. First, we'll import the GQL language from our Apollo client. Let's write our first query. We'll use this query to query the data for our container table. As you can see, we're querying the table containers. We're querying two fields here. One's the title, another is the identifier. The same way, let's set up the query field for our pull request table. Um, we'll be querying the table pull request and the field GitHub inside it. We'll be fetching the sub fields for GitHub that we need to display in our front end. For example, the title, the state of the PR, the body, which contains the description of the PR here. Great. You can also copy all of these queries from Canonic's doc section. If you switch to Chrome and go to docs, you can see you can copy all the query for our pull request or the container table right from here. Let's head to VS Code and fetch all the data for all the columns that are going to display and the PRs within it. Let's head to VS Code. So the container component is our topmost component that we're using. So we'll be using this component only to fetch all the APIs, both the container table API and the PR tables API. First, let's import use query from our Apollo client. It's going to help us make the API requests. Um, we'll also import the queries that were defined. Um, once we do that, let's fetch all the containers. So we'll be using the get containers query that we defined. in our query.js file, and we'll also fetch all the PRs that we're gonna get from the GitHub's API. Um, we'll also create a state variable called containers that can hold all the containers that we fetch from the backend. All of the PRs that we're getting fetched are gonna store in this PR data variable. Once we do that, quickly before that, let's also set the title of our app, um, and also set the container data whenever uh, the state of that variable changes so that it remains updated all the time. So now we have all the container data with us. We have fetched that. We'll also log it once to see if it's working or not. We can also quickly get all the pull requests that we have gotten from this query. Should be in this variable PR data. So we'll just create a function that can loop over all the pull requests that we've gotten, and then sort of normalize it. Once we have all the pull requests, we just need to sort them into different categories that they belong to. So we'll filter all the pull requests that we got. We'll filter them by the state. For example, the open state, and we will use the same code to sort of filter them for the closed ones that are going to display in the merged column. You can similarly get the draft one. We're just using normal filter function, looping over all the pull requests that we've gotten, and then checking it against the different sort of states that the PR is in. You can also get the assigned ones. Great. Um, so far we have gotten all the data from the backend. We're using use query function from a Apollo client, which will make the request to our backend. Once we get all of the data, we're just normalizing it here. Once we have all the data normalized, we'll just quickly fetch the different sort of PRs for which column they belong to. Um, to check if they're working or not, let's quickly log all of these variables and see what data we're getting in. So I've just logged all the container data that we're getting, all the pull requests, and then the filtered pull requests that we need to show in the different columns. Let's head to Chrome and see if they're printing it. Um, let's quickly refresh it. If we open our developer tools, um, you can see we got the container data here, getting four values, all of which we defined in our project here. Um, and then we're also getting all the pull requests. You can see the title, the body, the state. Then we also have our filtered data, the open pull requests that are currently there, the closed one from all the pull requests that we have fetched. So I think that's working pretty fine. Let's go head back to our editor and see how we can use this data to sort of display on a front end. Um, as you can see, we are also getting a loading variable here, which tells us if the API call is in progress or not. So we can quickly add um, another text that can just say, oh, the data is loading. So let's quickly do that. So the condition would become something like this. When the API request is loading, we'll just show a text that it's loading. Now comes the other part. When it's not loading, we have to show all the cards down below filled with all the pull requests in the respective columns. So all of these cards, we've just duplicated one over each other. So we can just delete uh, the rest of the cards and keep just one. Uh, we're going to loop over the card and use the items that we got, the data that we got from a backend. So let's loop over them. Uh, the condition would look like something like this. If it's not loading and we have all the containers data, we can just put it across inside it. It looks like this. Um, we'll just beautify this stack a bit and also beautify the title here. Um, Now apart from saying it's merged, we can just fetch the title from the container name that we're getting when we are mapping over the containers that we got from our table. Uh, Now in the stack, in the card content, we need to show the list, and the PR should show up in the respective columns. So what we can do here, we can write condition wherein the container's name, the container's identifier is equals to merge, then this list should show all the data for the PRs that are just closed. This closed PRs, we are getting it from here while we filtered them from all the pull requests that we got from a backend. And similarly, we can do the same for review, um, the same for the assigned column, and also for depending ones. Great. So now it will just loop over when the loading is finished over all the containers. It'll show the containers title here, and all the respective PRs in their columns which are filtered. Um, let's also quickly uh, beautify it a bit. Uh, we can just use a simple utility function that can return different colors for us depending on the different identifier that we're getting from a backend, and we can just set the colors here in the stack. Awesome. Let's head to Chrome and see how it's looking now. um, Chrome. Yep, it certainly looks nice now. Much more mature. As you can see, we're still not displaying all the PRs that we got from a backend. It's all still the dummy data that we've got. That's because we haven't propagated, uh, we haven't handled the data that we sent to our list component from a container component. Let's head to VS Code and see how we can do that. Um, as you can see here in the list component that we're using, we are sending a data parameter with an identifier into this component. So if we go to the list component, we add the two parameters. Now we are showing only one list element here right now. Let's map over all the data that we're getting in now from the data parameter. We can add this dummy list element inside our map. Now we can also assign it a key really quick. Um, we can replace this dummy text with item.title. Now for the labels, since they can be multiple, we'll have to loop over them also. We can then add it inside it. Great. Um, let's style it a bit, and we can also make the text bigger of the label and replace it with the value that we've been getting from the backend. For the avatar, let's add the source and the alt. Yeah, yep. And we need to replace the dummy text with the data that we got. Awesome. Now let's save this and head back to Chrome and see how it's looking. Yep, let's see, refresh it again. Yep, this looks great now. We can see all the data that we sent or propagated to our list component is now getting shown very properly. But as you can see, like the model is also right now still showing the dummy data. Now, as a last step, what we need to do is pass this particular pull request data that the user would click to the model itself. Um, so let's head to VS Code and see how we can achieve that. Now the modal will open when you click on any item. So let's handle the on click here. Let's pass the item that the user clicked on and the identifier. Let's handle it here in our on click handle click function. Um, let's make two state variables that can save the value of both of these parameters for us. Um, that's done. Now let's pass these two parameters to our modal component. So what I've done now is once the user would click on any of the list item, we'll store that data in our state variables and then pass it along to our modal component. If we head to our modal component now, we can add both of these as new parameters that are coming in. Um, in the function code, um, this is our component that the model component that's showing up inside the model component that's a material UI component. So let's first make sure like the parameter that's passed is present so that our application does not crash. Um, let's quickly add our code inside it. Yeah. Now let's modify our code to show the values that are coming in from the data passed from our list. Um, in here, let's add another column which will tell us which container it belongs to. Here, um, we also need to add this to our import. Done. Now we need to set the avatar's image from the data. We have to display the user's name here, to display the PR's title here. I have to display the body here. Can replace it now. Um, After that, we need to make sure um, to display the assignee if it's present. So let's add that condition. We can move this code up here, move this. Great. Let's add the assignees URL here and assign is login information, the username. Great. And lastly, just the link to our original PR. So this should ideally show us all the data propagating from our list when the user clicked it to our model. Let's head back to Chrome and see how it looks. Nice. So let's try and clicking on this. You can see now all the data, it's not showing any dummy data. The data is propagated from the list item that's been clicked here. You can see it's displaying the PR's titles. It shows which column it belongs to. It has the link to the PR. Great. One thing that you might notice here, right? We're not handling the markdown support here, which GitHub provides for your PR's description. That's something that we need to quickly add. Shouldn't take much long. Uh, let's head back to VS Code and complete this code now. Um, so for adding markdown support, we'll be adding two new libraries that can help us achieve that. To add the dependencies, let's head back to terminal. Um, terminal, we'll add our first dependency, which is React Markdown. Let it install. Once it's done, we'll add the second dependency, the remark GFM. Once this is also done, let's start our project and head back to VS Code. Let's import both the dependencies. Once we are done importing, we'll just use these two libraries to convert our body into a proper markdown. Let's head back to Chrome and see how it's looking. Let's open this first one. Looks great. Let's check this one out. We can see it's properly converting the body to appropriate markdown. Can check this one. This is again working. So yeah, that's it. I think we're done with all the code that we needed to write right from the start to the end. We started with building the front end skeleton, then we quickly headed over to create the back end. Once we had our APIs ready, we integrated the API with the front end and showed all the data that's coming in from the back end. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed the session today. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. You can also chat with me on Discord. I'll put the link in the description. Also, all the links for the sample code and the guide are also in the description. Do check them out. And feel free to subscribe to our channel for more videos. And I'll see you in the next one.